Hi friends, welcome back. Long time no see. I am DJ Montague, and today we are getting into SUPERVIVE, finally, formerly known as Project Loki. In this series, we're going to be doing a deep dive into all of SUPERVIVE's Battle Royale mechanics. Now let's get you a jump start so you can win some games. Hopefully, I'm not controlling your hands, I don't know your abilities. Hopefully you win some games, and hopefully this helps. Let's get into it. So you're playing a battle royale. The most important thing to learn about is death. You're gonna die, they're gonna die, everybody's gonna be falling off the map and doing dumb stuff. It happens. And that's the best part about this game, is that resurrection is a lot easier in this game than something like a Fortnite or an Apex. There are a lot more ways to get your team back in the game. So instead of dying and leaving the game immediately, there's always something to pay attention to and ways to get out of team fights and go and make sure your team can get back up. So first and foremost, when you are downed, 99% of the time you will become a Wisp. And there are a few skills that interact and a few powers that interact with Wisps. We won't get into them just yet. When you are a Wisp, your teammates can stand on top of you and resurrect you, and they can also still interact with the world. Now, that means shooting people or throwing off skills or whatever they are normally doing, including moving a little bit. You as a Wisp can move slowly, so you can kind of stay with them as they're trying to either get cover or trying to pull you into a bush or something like that. But also, the enemy can stand on you, and they will also make you turn into a death box faster if an enemy is standing on you. Now, there is a thing called Cremation, and it's on a specific set of skills, and it is also a power that affects Wisps that I do want to let you guys know about. Now, Cremation will make the Wisp take around 66% longer to resurrect. This is a very, very long time. So be very careful when you're looking at the game and pay attention to Cremation as a skill and a power. It's highly underrated, I think. Also, there are skills like Ronin's right mouse button execute that can completely kill a Wisp outright. If you are killed with that execute, you will not become a Wisp. You will instantly become a death box. Something to pay attention to as well. Now, around the map, there are resurrection beacons. The most important of them is the green resurrection beacons. Those are on the map in the same location everywhere, but they are usable immediately. Now, if your teammates get downed, turned into death boxes, ended, or they are Wisps, and you're standing on a resurrection and it completes, the people that are death boxes will be resurrected. Now, you do not have to touch the death box to get like a card or anything. They are just with you. You just go to a resurrection beacon and res your teammates, including if they are a Wisp. Say you get completely split up, one person goes north, one person goes south, person that is south runs into a team, ends up becoming a Wisp. If you are a Wisp, when the resurrection ends, you will be resurrected as well. So, very, very important to note. The gray resurrection beacons are buyable resurrection beacons. They can be rebuilt for 2,500 gold, and then you could stand on them. Also important to note, everyone on the map, all enemies, can see which resurrection beacons are being used. When you hear that sound, it's like an air horn. You know that a team is resurrecting nearby. These resurrection beacons are hotspots. They're easy to find and prevalent. Usually, you know if somebody's standing on the beacon, they're at a disadvantage. So you want to end that team. Now, there are two resurrection beacons on the map called Everbeacons. They are permanent fixtures of the map. The first one is in town, and the second one is at the heart. Now, when you use a resurrection beacon normally as a team, you cannot use that resurrection beacon again. If you use the Everbeacon, you can be resurrected at that same beacon as many times as you possibly can in a map. They are hotly contested areas because of this feature, and also usually they have a decent amount of loot around them, being the heart, or in town, they seem very safe, because if somebody attacks you in town, you get attacked by the guards. That is a hilarious thing that happens all the time where people don't know. Don't attack people in town. Don't attack people at the Everbeacon. But if you are at the Everbeacon and you touch the planet-like structure, you will instantly die. Don't touch the planet. Please don't touch the planet. Just leave it alone. It looks really cool. Don't touch the planet. And last but not least, there is the most wanted crown. Now, you can respawn people at death boxes, or respawn people as wisps, or respawn people as a beacon. But how about you just become a mobile beacon and you're just on a 2-minute timer? Just live. It's no big deal. It's super easy. You will pick up the most wanted crown. As you see on the ground, it looks like a orange crown. Pick it up with your interact button. Do not just run over it. Please actually pick it up. And then a countdown timer will start above your head. Once this timer reaches 0, your entire team will be resurrected, and depending on how late it is in the game, you will get some experience. Could be very crucial to getting your team to level 9 in the late game, where you haven't had a whole lot of time to get experience, or you guys have been put on the back foot by several teams. Also, with the most wanted crown, if you get a kill during the most wanted countdown, it will reduce in time. Also, if you are chasing down an opposing team that has the most wanted crown, and you yourself do not, but you get the kill on the most wanted crown and you have downed members, they will be resurrected. So it's a very high risk, high reward item specifically for late game. It's a beacon telling people to come kill you that you're down members, and also a chance for you to have a massive swing back into the game if you're down members yourself. Which brings us to our next tip. The storm early does not do a lot of damage at all, but it does stop you from healing. You cannot use healing items in the storm. You cannot be healed in the storm. So if you are fighting in the storm and you notice that the other team has 1 or 2 healers on it, you can continue to fight in the storm knowing they are at a massive skill disadvantage than you are. So something to keep in mind. Later in the game, the damage from the storm does ramp up, especially going into the very, very late game, where it's probably 200 to 300 damage very, very quickly. So pay attention to where you are, what time of the game it is. Of course, those are all normal stuff. So let's get into one of the most important mechanics of Project Loki. Now, not a lot of games have anything like this, like a Smash Brothers style abyss or ring outs or anything like that. And that's why I think a lot of people are coming to this game. There's a lot of outplay potential in the gliders and the abyss. So let's talk about the gliders. First and foremost, if you are on your glider over the abyss or over land, you can be spiked. Any damage will cause you to be spiked, including mob damage. It doesn't include dot damage, but it does include any sort of auto attacks, any sort of skills, and again, mob damage. If you're fighting a boss monster and he's shooting out that big AoE of a bunch of balls, and you are above the abyss trying to get away, and you get hit by a ball, you get spiked, you're dead. Just like you would if you're fighting a normal person. So you have glider stamina on the left of your health bar. Pay attention to that. And if you use your glider stamina sparingly, you can really make a lot of use of the vertical movement. I like to look at the terrain as the neutral, and then you can go below neutral into the abyss. And the death plane is kind of far down, a lot further than you might think. So letting go of your glider so that you can't be spiked by, normal attacks and stuff like that, and learning how to use your glider fuel to bait people out into the abyss and to control space out in the abyss is going to be a huge skill gap in this game. Knowing how and what to do over the abyss is massive. Now, you can still use movement abilities in the abyss or above the abyss or, in the air. So keep in mind, you don't have to always just use glider to cross these distances. Also, like I said, the death plane is very, very low, a lot lower than you might think. So if you have a short gap and you don't want to risk yourself getting off-screen shot by a strike or something like that, just jump, because this game has wall jumping. But in this game, if you are jumping or out into the abyss and you touch a wall, as long as you are pressing the direction to climb up the wall to get onto that area, it will shoot a little arrow next to you, a little green arrow, letting you know that you were shot upward. And you go back to neutral plane. Now, this is even if you're at the very, very bottom where you're almost at the death plane. and you hit the wall jump, you will go up to neutral. You can use this to like poke people that are trying to like bait you into getting spiked or using your glider or something like that. There's a lot of really cool tech with the Abyss that they've added into this game that really raises the skill cap on movement. And it's very, very exciting, and there's a lot to know about it. Also, in the Abyss, sometimes you'll see little yellow birds. Now, these are like phoenix-looking birds, I guess you could say. I don't know, they're just yellow birds. But anyways, you can jump off them or touch them and reset your glider stamina and force yourself higher into the air. This is super, super strong when you're, again, doing the Abyss game. Or you don't have to use your glider to fake out another opponent and put yourself higher into the air. These Abyss birds can also be killed, and they drop a little orb that will reset your glider stamina as well. If you are trying to bait someone off into the Abyss and you want to like kill their options to getting back, kill the bird and then watch them fall to their death. So speaking of gliders and the Abyss and all this fun stuff, there are vertical visual indicators on where to attack when a person is below the neutral ground plane. Say they're trying to ride the line of the death box, but they're using their glider just a little bit. You'll see a little icon above their head. There'll be a line and an icon showing you where to shoot to spike that person. Normally, this is a visual indicator that I've seen a lot of people don't know about. So keep this in mind when you're watching people try to juke you in the Abyss. When somebody is using a jump pad, or if you're looking at your own character as you're flying into the sky, there is a yellow circle of where you are going to land. There is visual indicators to make sure you know where you are at all times. So this also can be used for characters like Brawl who need to stun in the air. So you can see that your yellow circle is in a specific area, and you want to get over and stun some Shrike or some Kingpin. This is the way you do it. This is what you look at when you are in the sky like that. We've been talking a lot about terrain, and I think it's most important is when you are on neutral terrain, you're just walking around the world, you will see white lines around areas and ledges and plateaus that you can jump onto. And you will also see red line. These are the indicators on what you can and cannot jump up to. Okay? White lines means that your character can jump up to there. Red lines means, no, dude, you're not jumping up to there. You're going to look silly if you get into a team fight and you just try and jump against a wall. Look at the terrain around you, kind of get a grasp of what you can and can't jump up from. It's very, very easy to start seeing these and knowing how to move. Thank you for checking out part 1. We will continue going on talking about creeps and leveling up and how to break level cap on day 1, what days are. All of these things in part 2. We're going to be bringing back Know Your Role also for all the characters in the game and all the characters that will be released going forward. So make sure you stick around. We'll have a ton of information for SUPERVIVE, whether that be guides or complete match breakdowns or live streams on Twitch, twitch.tv/DJ Montague. We'll have some information here on upcoming tournaments, and also we'll be working with Moonlit Battlegrounds for the esports side of things. So you'll probably see me in some tournaments here soon. Yeah, buddy. And again, I just really appreciate you being here. Stay tuned for part 2.